Good morning. Welcome to the Seniors Council Douglas County monthly meeting for December. My name is Luke Thornton. I'm the WebEx host, and I want to let you know that the event is started and it is recording. If you have questions for any of our presenters today, please direct them to me personally in the chat box. So open up your chat, and then there's something where it says to. You can open up a drop-down menu and select host. I am the host. So if you have questions, please send them to me, the host, and I will present them to our presenters. And if you have a question that you cannot articulate through text, please raise your hand, which you will also see down in the bottom right corner of your screen. And without further ado, I will hand this over to Gretchen Lopez. Gretchen, you are muted. Okay, go again, Gretchen.
Good morning. Good morning. It's hard to believe it's December already, and the end of the year holidays are a few short weeks away. My name is Gretchen Lopez, Chair of the Seniors Council, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our December meeting. In the spirit of gratitude, I'd like to acknowledge the technical support we receive from Douglas County and our county commissioners. We couldn't conduct these virtual meetings without their assistance. And now for our announcements. For those of you living in Castle Rock, the Castle Rock Police Department has recently rolled out a new outreach program for older adults entitled, Are You Okay? The goal of this program is to regularly connect with the most vulnerable populations to ensure that they're doing well, are safe, and help identify any needs they may have. There's no charge to participate in Are You Okay? And it's available to anyone over 65 years old or any person with a disability living alone. An application is required and can be found on the Castle Rock Police Department's website. After the person is enrolled, a police officer or a Castle Rock Police Department volunteer will make phone contact at least once a week. We plan to contact other police departments in Douglas County to determine if they have similar programs, and we'll keep you posted on that. Our Vice Chair, Mike Drake, is the Senior Council's representative to the Strategic Action Planning Group on Aging, also known as SAPGA. Mike isn't able to be with us today, but he wanted me to share what he learned at the SAPGA meeting last month. As background information, SAPGA was established in 2015 as an advisory body to the governor on emerging aging issues in our state and to offer potential strategies to successfully manage these issues. Currently, SAPGA is focusing on the uptick in residential care facility outbreaks of COVID, as reported by the Department of Healthcare and Policy Finance. Among its major concerns are a reduction in testing turnaround time, skilled facility staff shortages, and a need for efficient and effective vaccine distribution to these facilities. Another focus is working with legislators to prohibit employers from asking high school and college graduating dates on job applications in an attempt to limit age discrimination. Ageism in the workplace is a very serious stumbling block for those of us who must work or who choose to work. Other areas of concern include compensation for those winning age discrimination lawsuits, broadband utilities and their effect on older adults, increased funding for area agencies on aging, expanding the number of geriatric providers, and more availability of non-emergency medical transportation. We'll keep you abreast on any progress in these areas as well, as they all impact us. Now I'd like to introduce Carrie Erickson. Is Carrie on, Luke?
We are having some issues getting Carrie on right now, so we can wait for a minute or come back to her.
We'll come back to her. We'll skip over to our education chair, Tiffany Curtin. She's an adult literacy specialist with the Douglas County Libraries for her education report. And then after Carrie's report, we'll come back to Tiffany for an introduction to our speaker today. Tiffany?
It's good to see you all here, even though I can't see everybody's faces this morning for another senior council meeting. Later on in 2021, so in January, we will have a presentation about using how to evaluate information when you come across various kinds of information on your social media pages. And I will be co-presenting that session with my colleague, Allison Evans from the Castle Rock Library. And in February, we will have a presentation by Kate Reed, and she's going to be presenting about some healthy life choices, the importance of movement, and how we can continue to stay healthy and active even during this time of COVID, and the importance of that. March 4th, we're looking forward to an ageism workshop with Janine Vanderberg. She's incredibly engaging and a wonderful presenter, and she'll be talking about ending ageism in times of COVID-19 and how COVID has kind of changed that, but helping us be informed about how to combat ageism in our communities and empower ourselves. And in April, we'll have a small panel of individuals who have started up their own businesses later in life, and how that has benefited them in staying active and doing something that they enjoy doing and love doing on April 1st. So that's our next several months coming up. And I see that it looks like Carrie Erickson is back with us. So hopefully I will turn this back to her, and then she will turn it back to me so I can introduce our speaker today.
Carrie was having technical difficulty this morning. So nice to see everyone. Gretchen had asked me to come on and talk a little bit about some things that Aging Resources has available for the community. And one of those is called an Aging Mastery Kit. It is through the National Organization on Aging, and these kits they're really pretty neat. They've got an aging playbook, and it talks about lots of different things relating to growing older, which we all are. And there is a Tai Chi video. It's a disc. There's also an exercise disc. And my favorite is there's a deck of activity cards. And the activity cards they prompt discussion, they prompt action on your part. It talks about gratitude, it talks about activities. They're also discussion starters with family and friends. And especially during this time of COVID and all of us being a little more isolated, I think it's a neat way to spur conversation. So I would like to make those available to our seniors in Douglas County, or to the children and family of older folks in Douglas County, because you can use the activity cards to start conversations with your older parents or your neighbors or your Aunt Martha. So what I'd like to do is make these available. They normally cost $30 a kit, but we were able to secure grant funds so that they're available free of charge. And I'd like you to contact our office, which is Aging Resources of Douglas County. I'm going to give you a phone number, because what you can do is call and request the kit. And for COVID safe pickup, we have installed a little library box out front of our office that looks exactly like our little White House office, and we will put the kit in there for you. The number is 303-814-4300. I think we have, maybe 50 to 100 kits left. So it'll be first come, first serve. So take advantage of that. It's a pretty neat thing. The other update I wanted to talk to you about is, again, through grant funding as a way to combat COVID. I feel like we've all had all of these restrictions put on us on what we can't do during COVID. And I'm saying what we can do during COVID. So I wanted to find creative ways to connect. And through grant funding, we were able to purchase video devices, and they are free of charge, first come, first serve. And these devices, well, they're really cool. They're about this big, and those on the phone can't see me. They're about 8 inches. They sit on a tabletop. You are able to connect face to face through video with your family, with your friends, with a volunteer companion, with our staff at Aging Resources, and we can help you set these devices up. You do have to have internet service for them to work, and you do need to have some kind of a smartphone because the technology needs to anchor itself to a smartphone. Our office can tell you lots more about these. They're usually $120, and we have them available through grant funding on what we can do during COVID. That's my emphasis, is because I, like you, am getting really tired of people telling me what I cannot do. And so now we're going to say, hey, we can do this. It's really fun. The devices, you can also ask, what is the weather? You can play trivia. It can play songs. It can tell you sporting scores. It's kind of fun. So again, call our office. We'll see if you have the criteria as far as internet and smartphone goes. We can also tell you more about how it works. 303-814-4300. And that is the update from Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. I have a question that came in. What's the address of the center?
That we are located at 104 4th Street in Castle Rock. It is at the very west end of 4th Street. It's a little white house at the end of 4th on the left-hand side. You can't miss it. Any other questions from folks about either the Mastery kits or the video devices? No? Okay.
No questions on my end.
Great. Thank you.
Carrie, those sound like exciting things to take advantage of, and I'm with you as far as finding out what we can do during this very challenging time rather than dwelling on what the restrictions might be. Folks are getting very creative and maybe discovering some talents they didn't have before. So these will be very helpful. Thank you so very much for making those available to us.
You are most welcome. We're happy to do it. And one more thing I just want to remind everybody of is that Aging Resources is still doing free food delivery once a month to our folks in Douglas County. If you guys want a box of food, it's shelf stable, it's produce, it's frozen meats, pasta, things like that, give the office a call and we'll put you on the delivery list. Thanks, Gretchen.
Great. So Tiffany, we're back to you. If you could then introduce our speaker, that'd be super.
Excellent. Well, I just want to say I'm very excited about all those ideas that Carrie just shared with us. And I'm excited to share those with other people I know. But today I'm also incredibly excited to introduce to you Joyce Fustel. In this interactive presentation here, Joyce will share some tips for ways to use your Facebook settings and other features to be safe on this popular site. She will give some examples of ways that people use Facebook and are able to have fun and be social with your friends, family, and community. She's been an active Facebook user since 2008. In 2010, she founded Boomer Social Media Tutor, and she has made that a full-time business since March 2013, after she retired from a 17-year career in sales. So please welcome Joyce Fustel with us, and stay tuned at the end, and there might be a nice special surprise at the end of her presentation today. So I'll turn this over to Joyce.
Make sure and unmute. Okay, I'm unmuted.
You are good, Joyce.
Okay, cool. So here we go. And see me too, hopefully, Luke?
Yes, we are good.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I have all these friends in Douglas County who I haven't met in person, but I still feel very connected to. In particular, I want to give a shout out to Donna Forster, who is the person that got me this opportunity to do the presentation today after I presented something similar with the Arapahoe County Commission on Aging. And then Tiffany has been my rock through this, and we've gone through so much getting it going, and most recently Luke with the technical side of it. Valerie is my new friend and fellow lover of golden retrievers. So really all these great people. And now Carrie, I feel like such a kindred spirit with you, because here's the deal, folks. We are going to have some fun with Facebook and learn about what we can do on Facebook. So that's the whole point of being together today. Now, one other thing in this part of my, at least for me to come, now I might mention by way of background, as was mentioned by Tiffany in the introduction, I've been on Facebook since 2008. And I'd like for each of you to think about when you started with Facebook and how it felt to you. Probably it felt like this foreign country you'd wandered into, even if you thought you wanted to go there. And that's how it felt to me. So I went out and I found books, Facebook for seniors, for dummies. Now that we should never think of us as dummies. I really don't even like the bottom part, but I would just devour books on Facebook. I would ask people questions. Now I'm the one that gets to help people who are trying to figure this out. So here's the plan. I'm going to be sharing Facebook with you. And now let me make sure I'm on my Facebook. Okay, hang on, everybody. Now, can folks, Luke, can you just tell me, do you see my Facebook page? Do you see?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this is how we're going to proceed during this time. And Luke is going to be taking questions. So you want them chatted to you, right, Luke? Is that the plan? Can you mention that?
That is correct. Yes. Again, if you want to send a question in the chat box, you have an option to select to send to the host. So
yeah,
please do
or
that.
just send it. You know what? They could even send it to everyone, so people are seeing the questions that are being asked. So you don't get hit up with the same question. Is that okay, Luke?
Yes, that's also fine.
That just occurs to me. So what are we going to go over? Today we're going to talk about your own presence, as they call it, your profile, but it's often informally referred to as your Facebook page, your part of Facebook. We're also going to go into what's called the home page, where you see the posts from your friends, and this is sort of really the navigational part of Facebook. We'll talk about finding friends, let's see if I have a friend request. Oh, look at that, Tiffany wants to be friends with me, how nice. And then I'm going to go out and see if I can make a friend, find a new friend. So also we're going to go into the privacy, the settings of Facebook, that's over in this part here. the top right, and then talk a little bit about Facebook business pages and also groups. Like, for example, Valerie Robson is a huge fan of golden retrievers and is a manager, admin actually, of a group. If you'd like to be part of that, she can tell you more. Okay, so let's look here at the actual, I'll take this all the way to the top. Let's look at first this cover image. You don't have to have one, but some people have imagery. Like this happens to be Telluride, Colorado, where my husband and I traveled to in July. Yes, we did it as safely as we could during COVID. And this should be a picture of you. Well, it could be you and your grandchild, you and your golden. I'll probably talk about goldens a lot because I have one. You and your cat. It should be, I think, you, though, in part, and it should look like you do now, more or less. This is just like last Christmas. The next thing to think about is how you might want to describe yourself. So all of you here in this training had an interest in seniors in Douglas County in particular. So you could even put your membership in the Seniors Council of Douglas County, just lay that out there, active member of it. Anything personal, you know, if you're big into gardening or whatever it might be, or your grandmother of 10, however you identify would be one way to put it. And if you haven't filled this out or populated, as we say these days, you can, there should be an intro section, just says intro here or over here, and I can help you. I'm happy to help any of you in a free, roughly 30-minute session through Zoom. So my preference of virtual training, just what I'm used to using, so then I could help you out. So going down after your intro section, we get to what's called the About section. Now here, you can put in whatever you want if you choose to put anything in. So for example, let's say you were active in your church like I am. So here, what I did, just go back, I went to About, I went to Work and Education. Now I'm going to add a workplace, and I use this term loosely because a church is where I volunteer, I don't work. Oh, there's my church. So now I have their business page, and I would put in volunteer coordinator. See, it's right there. They give me that. It's in Littleton. I put that all in here, and Littleton went. Littleton, Colorado. And then it should be populated. I promise there it is. So then I can just fill this out. I don't want to take a lot of time with it, but then so it's like filling out any kind of little template. So I'm just going to cancel that for now. I just wanted to show you where it was. And if you had, that's my last paid job before I had my business. So if you were, maybe you worked for the county government for a long time, you were a school teacher, whatever it was, you had your own business, you and your spouse, and now you've sold that. So you could put in what you used to do as well. One thing I want to mention is this section called Contact and Basic Information. Now here, I have a phone number attached to my Facebook account, but that's only if I get locked out of Facebook. It can happen. I have an email attached to my Facebook account. But notice, folks, that this is a padlock, and I hope you can see that padlock. I'm going to make it just a shade larger so we can see this okay. Hope that might be a little bit better. So see this padlock, that means people cannot see this information publicly. I want to stress that. Now down here, I put in my business email. I put in my LinkedIn. You know, I do all this stuff on social media, YouTube. Maybe you use YouTube, Instagram. Now, what you could do, you could put in the Facebook page for the Seniors Council of Douglas County, that My Doug Co-Senior Life. We'll be going to that a little bit later in this presentation, or any other website that you're of a connection that you have, you know, an entity. And then you can add political, religious views. I stay away from that. I'm a business owner. I want to keep that to myself. Now watch this. Here, folks, you can have your birthday be known to everyone. Now, there's sort of an inside joke on this because that's not my real birthday. My real birthday is December 22nd. However, and 1948, just to fess up completely here. Well, I'd heard years ago that it's more likely to get, oh my gosh, I have another friend request coming in. I'm so excited. So you know what? I could be possibly more vulnerable to have someone impersonate me or hack into my account if I left my actual birth date in there. So you can go in and change it, although you only can change it a couple times and then you got to stick with whatever your last one was. So the public thinks, the Facebook public thinks my birthday is the 21st, so my family gives me a hard time. And notice here, I like to hide the year. So see, when you click on this, you can make this be friends. Where, I like to get the accolades, whatever. Hey, you're still, especially nowadays, we're grateful to be alive, right? And here I've changed this one to be only me. I don't want people to know on Facebook what year I was born, or at least I say I was. I hope that makes sense. And then anybody that wants some help with it, I'm happy, really happy to show you how to go in and make changes. So are there, wait a minute, I'm thinking any other thing I want to talk to with you about this. So this is all what appears on the left-hand side. I have that I live in Lakewood. By the way, my name is pronounced Foystel. That's okay, Tiffany. I've been married to this guy. I'll be 49 years, April Fool's Day, and I'm used to all kinds of pronunciations and spellings, but it is Joyce Foystel, just FYI. This means there's people that follow me that I chose maybe not to be friends with, but I'm okay because they haven't creeped me out or anything. But I'm going to get into blocking and stuff. So look at this. This is called my, what's called my timeline. If you ever hear that word, and that means the posts that are on my personal Joyce Foystel page or profile, technically. So what I did is I shared that lovely post. I just love whoever did this visual. Let me know because I think it's the cutest picture. So I shared this event that we're doing right now over to my personal page so people will see it. There's Lee, who is a friend of mine. There's Steve Schreiner, goes to my church. That was so fun to see people who noticed that. And then my daughter did a fundraiser for her birthday. So when I gave money, I made that public because that's our local food bank up here in Lakewood where I live. They have that at Jefferson Action Center. Oh, Valerie did. I thought it might have been your little boys. And then here's my daughter turning 40. So see the blue here? That means I tagged her when I can show you how to do that if you want to see. And then all these people, wishing her happy birthday. So that just goes, that's just stuff I put up on here. Or if she had tagged me, then that would appear on my page. I wanted to stop here before I move on to friends to see if people have questions. Perhaps, Luke, is anything coming in yet through the chat about a personal sort of account or details about them?
No questions yet.
No questions,
If people want to keep send them in, send them in through the chat.
Cool. So now we're going to move back over to the home page here. And from here, that just kind of keeps us, here we are set up in home. Now what I'm going to do is to see if I have any pending friend requests. Oh, sure enough, I do. There's one from Tiffany. Oh, I thought there was one from also from Carrie, but maybe I missed that. Okay, so let's just look. So I'm going to go over to Tiffany and see, do I know Tiffany? No, Tiffany, the only little picky thing I'd say about you is that I can't see you in here. One idea would be to have you on this horse in a larger background photo, just an idea. Maybe that was just a comment that she made. At any rate, so I'm pretty sure it's you. Okay, I saw, oh, look at that. Tony looks right here. So I feel like, oh yeah, oh, there's Valerie. Oh, I just met Valerie. Oh, okay, well now I'm feeling like, I'm just trying to pretend I don't really know Tiffany that well. But okay, I'm going to say, oh, I'm so happy to do this. But if I didn't want to do this, so I would delete the request, and then, Tiffany, if you don't mind, I'm just going to delete the request and then send you this because I want to show other people's stuff. Now watch this. So let's just say I'm deleting it. Let's say I want to block Tiffany because she has really creeped me out, man. I just don't want to be friends with her at all. So then I would click over here, and then just by clicking on that, I would block her. So Lord knows I don't want to do that, right? So that's what you do. So with Tiffany now, because I could go in there and still ask her, I can add her as a friend. So let's just say I'm going to send that because I really meant to be friends with her. But now let's go look for somebody on mine. So I'm going to reach out. That was when someone is sending you a friend. So I've just met this lovely Gretchen here, who seems so nice. So I'm going to look for Gretchen. I'm going to look in people. Oh, there she is. Oh, that's Gretchen, sort of gussied up Gretchen. Very nice picture, Gretchen. I like that a lot. So now I'm thinking, and see how she has this, what she used to do? She worked at the Ohio Department of Insurance. She went to school at North Texas, was at Ithaca. You know, my husband's from New York State, Gretchen, sort of a small world. Now she lives in Castle Rock, and she was originally from New York. That's a good amount of information for her to be giving out to the general public. But the one thing you might realize, Gretchen, is that it looks like everything you're posting here on Facebook can be seen by just about everybody. Now, that might be okay with you, just so you know, but I just wanted you to realize that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add her as a friend and hope that she'll accept that. So it's pretty straightforward when you think about it. But sometimes, you know, when you go back here, and Facebook, by the way, is going to suggest all kinds of people to you that you might or might not want to be friends with. Like Meg here, she's such a sweetheart. She's here in Lakewood. She's another business owner. I think I'd like to add her as a friend. But no, the mayor of Lakewood, maybe I don't feel like I'm tight with him. Why would I want to be friends with him? I don't think I just think I'll remove him. Nothing against the mayor, but I don't plan to be friends with him. Oh, Marisa. Oh, yeah. So once in a while, see, you're going to see people here, especially if they're friends with other people that you know. So now I've sent a couple of friend requests. Now, one thing that I don't like about Facebook is you can't really write them a note or anything. So I suppose if you know someone well, like I know Marisa pretty well, I could write her an email, or I could write Meg an email and say, hey, I sent you a friend request. So this would apply maybe to somebody that wasn't on Facebook that much. But so I thought I would just mention that about friends. So now we have friends. So when you have friends, you're going to get information here in your news feed. So let's just look at the news feed and see if there's something that we want to say. Well, this could be a simple thing, like right here. Here's a lady who does a lot on LinkedIn with her meetup group, and she is really a force of nature. So I can just love this, and then I could comment, and I could say, wow, congrats, Michelle, or, congrats, just something. I don't have to overthink this. And I hit enter, you probably all know that. But now let's say I don't want to be seeing all the other people that think Michelle rocks and their commentary, so watch carefully. See here, when you click on those three little dots, you can turn off notifications. So what does that mean? That means up here in your bell icon, you will not see all the other well-wishers to Michelle celebrating her 1,600 people in her meetup group. That's what that means. But notice too, when I say this, people, not just Michelle, but other people can see what I write. You know, because sometimes you think, okay, so here's just, I used to work with Dottie, such a sweetheart. So let's pretend I was kind of a rookie on LinkedIn. So I would click on comment, let's say, and start typing something like, Dottie, how are you? How are the boys? How's your cute little girlie? Sure missed you. Like thinking somehow only Dottie was seeing this. Oh, no. Everybody who knows Dottie, who might look over here at this post, would see that is not a private way to communicate with people. Just want to stress that. What if I did want to write her or anyone privately? Okay, this is what I would do. There's something called Messenger. That's Facebook's internal messaging device. So if I go over to Messenger, and let's say I want to write another little note to Nicole, because I recently donated, so I'm going to write her a note here and say, thanks so much. Can you all see this, I hope? Thank you. Thanks so much for dropping by to pick up the toys that my daughter and I donate. See, she's an Edward Jones advisor here in Lakewood, and she has one of those connections to a place that gives toys out at Christmas to children. So that's how Nicole and I have been communicating. I didn't email her. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. I decided I'd just communicate with her on Facebook, and that's worked out just fine. So I just thought I'd mention that. Now, watch this. Do you see this Mary Yoakum? Watch carefully. This is the creepy part of Facebook. Is that you? Oh my gosh. If you ever get anything like that, don't click on the YouTube. My husband made the mistake of doing this and he was sorry because it kind of really jeopardized his Facebook account. It's better now, but he was so embarrassed because it was a bad decision. So at any rate, when you see this kind of thing, what I saved it just to show you was kind of weird. It came in yesterday. So watch this. You could just, of course, delete it, but I think I'm not going to block messages from her. I think what I'll do is just click on delete because later I did, well, the whole conversation, I think that's all right. I don't need to I don't ever normally communicate with her anyway through Facebook. So she did put a post up that she'd been hacked. So yeah, so she's up to date on that. So now we talk about looking at your news feed, see what you got in there, what do you want to like, what do you want to comment on, and then maybe even share. But then also, and sharing would be like, not that I would do this because it wouldn't really make sense, but see, I could just share this out to my people. Then I want to stop now though. Is there, just to see, check, is there anything that's come in, look on friend requests, accepting, not accepting, making friend requests, communicating? Are we okay?
No, no questions yet,
No
and
questions
no
so far?
hands raised.
Okay. So I'm just checking my notes here. Okay, now we're up to, okay, this is where it gets kind of boring, but it's important. All right, so hang with me. Now see here in the top right, this is where we go to our settings. And here is settings and privacy. And then we've got 3 clicks till we get there. Now let's start with our general account settings. A couple things I'm going to show you. Here you have your email that you have associated with your account. Again, you don't want it to be displaying. We already talked about that. Now, let's say I left Comcast and I switched over. I only use my Gmail account. So what I would do then is I would click on edit here, and then I would add my new email. So that, and then eventually I would just drop this one off and I would have my Gmail then be what's called primary. You can have a couple of emails connected to Facebook. I don't know if there'd be a real reason for that, but you could do that. Now here's another one. We're all older, as Carrie was saying. First, we're aging every day. What happens when you die? Think about it. What would you want done with your Facebook account? Well, you can do a couple things. You can choose someone, like I chose my daughter Anne, who I've already mentioned. You can choose someone to manage, people writing things on it, like they might go to an online obituary, like the funeral home or whatever would have a place you could write things. They can request just the account to be shut down. They would need, of course, a death certificate to do that. They can respond to new friend requests. They could update things. They could state, oh, so-and-so has passed, when's the funeral, etc. But they could only handle things going forward. They can't go back and look at your messages. They can't really post as you. And then this goes down to, if you don't want an account, just request that it be deleted. So just think about it and what you want. But I thought I'd mention this section is here in what's called general account settings to think about how you want to handle your account after you're gone. Next comes security and login. I know all the seniors I've ever talked to, any older person and younger too, but especially older, really worried about security, privacy. Fair enough, because we're such a vulnerable group. People prey on our age group all the time. So what we would do here is see if there was some suspicious login. Everything looks good to me. Everything makes sense. I've been in these places. That's all right. It's mostly Lakewood where I live. Naturally, where else am I going? Then here, if I wanted to change my password, this is important. Sadly, a lot of us, especially older people, use the same dang password for everything. Please, people, do not do this. Create a list, or there's, separate whole technical devices. They can tell you how to group them and have them under one big password. But if you could at least for Facebook use a different password, I think you'd be better off than your other passwords. Also, if you really want to take another precaution, and that would be, it sounds kind of fancy, but it's not that hard, two-factor authentication. What is that? That means if I log out of Facebook and I log back in, I'm going to have a text sent to my smartphone, which, as I said, is connected to my Facebook account. And it'll give me that, that code. Maybe you've done this for other things, like a 6-digit code usually, I believe it is. And so then I type that in to get in to access my Facebook account. It certainly has helped me have less opportunity. I just don't have the hacking into it that I see other people having. So those are just things I want to make sure you know about. Next, we go to privacy. Now, privacy has to do with several things, including who sees your post. Now, I'm going to think that most of you will have the Facebook default for the audience, which would be your Facebook friends. That makes sense, right? Now, because I use my personal page in a somewhat public way, that's why I just leave it as public, but I don't think most of you would probably want that. If I'm just going to skip over a few things here and then go down to who can send you requests. But if you wonder who can see people pages unless you follow things like that, I don't want everybody seeing all my interests. That's really my business. Like Tiffany knows, the library, I don't want to look and see what books other people are checking out. That's their business. Now, who sends me friend requests? There's a couple different schools of thought on this. If you have everyone, that means everyone, including the creepy people, can send you a friend request. That is a problematic thing. However, if you had only friends of friends and you didn't, let's look at Gretchen. What does she have? 72 friends? So Gretchen, that's not a little amount, but it's not a big amount either. So what if one of those people that wanted to friend her wasn't a friend of one of those 72 people? They couldn't send Gretchen a friend request. Let's say if she had this setting, let's pretend. So, but if she had everyone, then they could at least send her the request. That doesn't mean, of course, Gretchen has to accept it. Now here I have all of these, not that people likely would look you up by email, but they might if you had maybe a common name or something. Now, this is a really important one, and luckily, Facebook's default, as far as I know, still has this one be checked. Why do you want this checked? Go in and make sure yours has got a little blue box with a white check. That means when people go on the internet, such as on Google or Bing, and they were searching your name, then your Facebook personal account, or your Facebook page, as we call it, your profile should not show up. Because who wants that, really? So that's your privacy. Then related to privacy is what's called tagging and viewing. So in other words, who can post on your profile? So my daughter Ann, that just had the birthday, she allows her friends to post on her profile. So we can go over there and wish her happy 40th birthday. Who can see what other people are posting on her profile? Probably she has friends like I do. And this, I believe, is the default. But don't go and check because that makes the most sense. Do you allow stories? Are those like little, they're sort of, I'll use a fancy word, ephemeral. They're here just today and gone tomorrow. So would you allow people to share a post of yours to your story? Well, probably, but you don't have to. You can just turn this to off. You just disable that. But I don't mind that. Now, this is where I'm not going to click on this, but I probably have some swear words in here. So I would have words that I don't want to be showing up on my profile. See if somebody had a comment that is a swear word. All of these I think should be friends. Now, here's an interesting one. Let's say you're kind of wary. I was going to say paranoid, but that's not a good word. Let's say you were wary of what posts are going to be showing up willy-nilly without you having any say-so. If you want to have say-so, if you want to review any time someone references you or quote tags you in a post, your picture or your name, then you want to have this enabled. So you click on enable. I have it disabled because I don't really have a problem with people doing that. Let me just show you an example of what I'm talking about. So if I wanted to go here, I'm not saying this. Let's say I'm going to make a post. So I'm going to leave this page. I'm just going to make a post. So if I'm making a post, I'm saying, thanks to thanks Valerie Robson. Let's let Valerie come see here. Valerie Robson. See, and I click on her name and all the other fine folks with, etc. I'm not going to actually put this up, but if I wanted to bring Valerie into this post, I did it just to do it one more time by putting this little @ sign and then typing her name until there she is. I click on it. That's what I mean about tagging her. So if Valerie doesn't want anybody doing this kind of thing where she doesn't already approve it, then that's what I'm talking about over here in the enabling of this reviewing process. I need to get back to where I was. No, just leave. So this is where we were. We were in profiles and tagging. So we're getting this one. Review posts you're tagged in. Again, referenced. So let's go down and look at two other ones. Blocking. Remember I talked about, oh, Tiffany, maybe I don't want Tiffany. Maybe I want to block Tiffany. So here is where I have blocked people that I just don't want anything to do with. Now, I'm not saying these are bad people. Some of these people I know personally, there's former client in there, but I had a reason I just didn't want to be connected to them on Facebook. So I went and did that. Now going down, I can also block people from sending me messages. Sometimes I've had people send me odd messages and I just don't want their messages. Through Facebook, this is. Now here are people that have asked me to play, usually it's a game. So again, recognize a name or two there. These are fine individuals, no problem with these people. It's just that I don't use those Facebook apps, mostly the games is what would be involved here, that other people do. Here's yet another. People here have invited me to events, and I don't care to go to Facebook events that I don't have an interest in. And if I constantly have people sending me event invites, really, that I don't want to go to, why? I just block these, a lot of them, because I'm in business and I need a lot of people invite me to stuff. And then here's where I can block the entire game or app, whatever it might be. Back in the day, it was Farmville, and it's Candy Crush. And I don't even know what the current games are. That's how little I've been really involved with that part of Facebook. And then finally, I wanted to show you notifications. This is probably best gone over by just doing it one-to-one, but I'm just going to pick an example of something that I do have enabled. So here, if a page I follow has something of value to me, then I'm like, sure, I want to know about their posts up here in my Facebook notifications. But you know what, folks? I don't need email about it. I don't need text about it. Heck no. So push means I want to get it through just notified through Facebook, basically. But we can go into that at another time. Now, while I'm in the screen, just checking, look, has anything come through at all? Questions about any of these settings at all? I just want to check with you.
Nothing at the moment.
Nothing at the moment. Okay, cool. Good. This is good time-wise because I want to make sure we cover all the topics. So now I want to go to pages. So being I've already done a little research with this when we had our practice session, we have your council's Facebook page. Yay! Here it is. Now, My Dougco Senior Life. I just think that's a really clever name for your page. So here we have information about the page, where you're located, adult services. We already heard about that location from Carrie. Some people are checked in right now because of the program. Their open hours, is that the right number? There's photos that have been put up, videos, events. Like, here's our meeting today. Oh, and if you haven't watched this video, please do this because it's so powerful to see this ballerina listening to, it was Swan Lake, right? Something she had danced in. And then she's moving there while in her wheelchair. Wow. And here, of course, is that same, this is the one that I had shared. See, I got that over to my personal Joyce page by just, sharing it over to my newsfeed. So that's the kind of thing. So start sharing posts to your newsfeed when you have something coming up like this COVID stuff. This is really good to know about where the testing is. Now, oh my God, I better like your page, right? Now, notice what happens, folks, when I like your page. Facebook thinks they think I probably am in Douglas County, which would make sense, right? And maybe I'm interested in other things that especially the county government is doing. See all these things here, aging resources, Castle Rock Senior Activity Center, a senior resource guide. So leadership, Douglas County. So that's pretty cool, really. But if you think like, really, I don't need to see all these, just go away, see that I can hide them. So that's just, and then, I could review. Like, oh my gosh, we should do a review. I'm not going to take the time right now because, I need to do my class, but I can go in now. I would recommend you guys in a heartbeat because of all these things you're doing and how you've morphed so nicely over to virtual meetings for your council and all these things I've already heard about today. Oh my goodness. So see, there's a value to follow a page, whether it's this page, or your church, or your, whoever it might be, a business you like to patronize and you want to see their offers or let people know about it. So that's a business page. And just again, to point out that a business page, I can't really write on there and say anything. It's not like I can, but I could maybe message the page. Let's see if I could do anything with it. Save, block the page, like is my page. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. I almost forgot. Okay, but I could message it. Trying to think somewhere. I'll go figure that out. Here it is. Oh, duh, right in front of me. Send a message. Hello, right there. Now, watch carefully, folks. Let's say I was in Douglas County and I don't want to miss a beat from the post on this page. Now, I can make it what's called a favorite. See here? Favorite. What does that mean? It means that I will have posts from this page appear toward the top of my newsfeed over here in Joyce when I click on the home. You only get 30 of those, so you want to be selective, and that includes people like your daughter or your son-in-law or your nephew, people you want to see a lot of, your sister, your husband, whoever, I should talk more for men here, your girlfriend, whoever. Now, then, if you want to, not in this, whoopsies, oh no, I lost that for a minute. Just get back to my Facebook. Oh, I just moved this over here. Sorry. To go back to I'm still in my meeting, right? Okay, so look, I got messed up on my sharing. Can you still see Facebook or no?
No, we're seeing your desktop.
That's what I
open
thought.
up your
Okay.
Chrome browser again.
I see. I just got goofed up because this got, oh, there it is. Oh. Now here's my Facebook. All right, sorry. Okay, so then, oh, that's interesting. So here's where when I click here on post and I want to see every post, I'll find out up here. So it's kind of like it's a sister's activity to go with getting these, but always make sure when you make your changes, I've made this mistake, that you go down to update it. So this basically, when you make these changes here for this page, that's how you're going to get more, I keep saying in the loop, you want to make sure you know what's going on with the page. So, and again, this is public. Now we're going to switch over to groups, and conveniently, by the grace of God almost, I just got invited to join a private group. You would have think we'd planned this, me and my new Facebook friend, Marisa. So let's just see what's going on here. So she's got a group that ties to her podcast community. Wow. I didn't know she had this group. Well, hello, it's private. That's why I didn't know about it. So I think maybe I'll join this group because I want to do more podcasts, and maybe she's got tips about things going on in for podcasts. And perhaps then this will prompt me to listen to more of her podcasts, not just the one I was on, right? And see, this does last for only 28 days. So now I'm going to join her group. But now that I'm joining her group, and then it'll even let me invite other people, but she would probably still have to bless that. But let's say I don't want to get like constant messages from them. Yikes, right? So let's see here. Manage my notifications. That's what I want. So that takes us back to kind of where we just were. So I'll probably for now be okay with highlights. Member request notifications. I don't think I want to get involved with other people joining it. That's really Maurice's deal, if you ask me. But now that I'm a member, I can see who else is in this group. So maybe there's people here that I want to get to know. Like I could add them as a friend. See, that's one of the advantages. Wow, there's quite a few people. So I won't get too sidetracked, but now I'm kind of excited. That was just, I'll call that divine order when something happens so nice like that. But let me show you how my groups are, just a little bit about groups. And then we'll just really open it up to even other questions and answers and ideas. So here I have my groups. Now I've made some of these what's called kind of a shortcut. So I'm in quite a few groups and I get to see them here. But if I want to see all my groups, let's just show you this. I click on groups there, and then it'll show me the groups where I'm one of the admins. Again, just like Valerie's that admin, as I mentioned, for her golden retriever group. So here's the groups where I have a say-so in them. You know, I may not have started it, but I have some degree of authority, let's call it, within the group. Like here's my high school class. These are fun because then you can see what's up. You know, talk about having fun on Facebook. I mean, I remember that prom, kind of, you know, but I was a yearbook editor, co-editor with my friend Carol Anderson at the time. And so I remember some of these pictures. That's why Carol's got so many. Doesn't that just take you back in time, folks that are maybe in the early, oh, there I am on the class trip. Isn't that cute? So, yeah, it was after I got my contact lenses. You know, man alive, it just takes me back, right? So that's enough going down memory lane, I guess. So here's something more current. Here's a business group I'm in. So here's a way for us to stay in touch. So maybe some of you, if you have like subcommittees or teams within the council, it's possible, and maybe you already do this, you would have a little Facebook group as a way to stay in touch with each other. And then here's like our Shackley guy has this great video here. You know, someone's already tagged me in a post. Oh my gosh, what have I gotten into? But that's okay. I can always back out of things. Here's a workshop that I did. So at any rate, so these are things that are going on in this group, private only to the members of our paid business networking group. So there are public groups and there are, like say if I was looking for, say I was a gardener, let's just like pretend I'm looking for gardening. Oh, look at that, gardening groups, there it is. So then if I want to join them and learn more about Colorado gardening, let's see if I can go here. And this is a private group. So then I would have to be approved for them, right? So then I'd have to keep looking, backyard vegetable, you know, people are doing, so it looks like most things have gone to private as opposed to in the past there were more, I would call, yeah, there were more, there's a public group. Maybe I have seen this one in the past. So notice now here, folks, 430 million people. This, anybody can join it, anybody can post. I mean, there might be some degree of moderation going on here in terms of people watching over so creepy stuff doesn't get on it, but it's a totally accessible group. So I'm going to see if there's anything else come here. Okay. Oh, here Nicole wrote back. That was sweet. Ah, great idea. Remember, that's the one that I told you with the toys. So easy to communicate this way. So here she's tagged me in a post. And Tiffany accepted my friend request. Oh, yay. And now Carrie sent me one. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now Carrie, who I liked just from the minute she opened her mouth, I want to be her friend for sure. And now I've got a couple new friends out of this. So I am actually going to stop sharing my screen just so I feel a little more like available to you all. Do folks have any comments you want to put in the chat or just unmute, share anything, especially like Valerie, if you have anything more you want to say about groups, feel free just to chime in, okay? Anything else going on? People are all kind of Oh, I know what I want to do before I forget. Is I want to go and show you here. All of you hopefully got that PDF that Valerie sent out. But please, I want to draw attention to what I mentioned before, that if you want to have that 30-minute free session with me, I have a calendar tool called Calendly. You might have heard of that. And you can, wait, are people seeing this? Did I share my screen? Okay, I think I did, right? Okay, so make sure that you take advantage of that if you'd like to. I'd be more than happy to help you with Facebook. And, but I do want to go back to, okay. Oh, you can share my screen. Oh, yeah. Do you want Valerie? Do you want to share? Look, do you want to let Valerie share her screen so she can share, talk about her golden group? Is that okay if we have time? Oops. Hopefully people can hear me.
Okay, Valerie, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Let me get to my screen. I was gonna, I just asked Joyce if it would be good to share the whole concept of linked screens. So let me get back in and share my screen. Luke, I've never had to share screen. What do I do?
There is a share button down at the bottom in the middle next to your video.
Ah, there it is. Okay. So
There you go.
okay, good. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay. So let me go to my homepage real quickly and my groups. What I was going to show, and this is the Golden Retriever Lifetime Study Group. But what we have is we have a number of what we call linked groups. And I actually may have a question on this because Joyce, if we wanted to, in the past, in the old Facebook, you could see the linked groups on the side. And I don't know how to find the linked groups now.
I'm not sure, unless you clicked on members, Valerie, can you go to the top? That might show you, it would show you the pages who were members. So click on members and then scroll down. See, there's the admins, there's friends. There, go slower so we can just see. Friends, members with things in common, members unavailable, new to the group. Well, I'm not sure where the LinkedIn groups, I don't, to be honest, I don't spend a lot of time in groups to be able to know. You can research that.
Well, we can play with that a little bit more.
Yeah, you and I should just do a session, okay? Because you'll probably teach me stuff and I can teach you stuff and figure it out. Right? Because they've actually, with the new look of Facebook, it is a little tricky to navigate, and they have more functionality, I would say, now within groups. So it would be interesting to see what the possibilities are, but it does seem to be missing the thing that you were wanting, which is to see these other groups that are connected to your 3,000 strong, lifetime study group.
Yeah. We have a fundraising group for the study. And so that's something that we like to, especially now that we have some fundraisers going on.
Yeah, no kidding. Get off.
Okay.
This is great. Thanks, Valerie. Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have to see if we can puzzle that out together.
Okay.
Good. Anybody else want to comment or share? And by the way, Linda Odell, I left you off my list earlier. I think I did. And I'm so grateful to Linda because of the fact that Linda made it possible for or invited me actually to write an article for the Colorado Community and Media, which some of you may have seen or didn't, in the column, that the your Seniors Council has regularly in the Parker Chronicle and Highlands Ranch paper and the Castle Rock paper. So that was pretty exciting. I don't know that I've been published in a regular newspaper in a really long time. So I was very happy about that. Just to get the word out about this program and in general about safety for older adults on Facebook in particular. So thank you, Linda. I pretty much wrapped up, my prepared presentation. So unless there's any questions that have come through the chat, or again, people do reach out to me, please. Personally, I'm very happy to help you.
No questions at the moment. So.
Oh, and one more thing, I would invite people, one final thing in closing, is that I have a website, Boomers Social Media Tutor. It's on that, last page of the PowerPoint or the PDF you have. And if you go there, there's a blog, you'll see my blog post there. You can also subscribe to my newsletter that comes out once a month. I was so inspired doing this program that I wrote my blog post I just wrote it and published it last night, all about the very same topic, having fun and being safe if you're an older adult, on Facebook in particular and social media in general. So I want to say that you guys inspired me for my topic, because sometimes I have to sit and think of it. I blog every week, what to blog about. So it's got a
Joyce,
lot
we have a question.
Yeah.
And it reads, do people know when I access their info on their Facebook page?
You know what's good about Facebook? They do not. If it was LinkedIn, they might see if you were nosing around and looking at them. Really good question. But on Facebook, nope, folks don't know if you're looking at them. Any other questions?
Nope, just that one.
Just that one, okay. Well, I'd like to thank Gretchen and the whole team here, Luke, everybody, Tiffany, Valerie, Linda. Wow, just been such a neat opportunity for me, and I'm glad we worked it out that I could do this virtually. But this has been actually scheduled for quite some time, and so here we go. So I guess yay. Thank you for this opportunity. Oh, Gretchen, I think you're muted there.
Yeah. Thank you, Joyce, for all that great information. I know I've been hesitant in the past to use Facebook, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident about getting involved. So yes, I'll need that mini session for sure. But you've given me some good ideas and I've taken notes. So I'm pretty excited about maybe getting more involved. So I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. So to continue our education about safety on the internet, as Tiffany mentioned, our speakers next month are Tiffany, our own Tiffany, and Allison Evans, of course, and they're going to give us tips on how to evaluate the information on social media for accuracy and content, which is very important. We have to know what if we're reading something that's accurate and something we should trust. So please join us next month on Thursday, January 7th at 10 a.m. for this informative presentation. And meeting flyers will be available prior to that meeting date. They'll go out to our email list. So please get on our email list if you aren't already there. Another thing we'd like to ask your help with is we are doing an education survey and we're asking for your input as to topics that you would be interested in the future. We have the first couple of months planned for 2021, but we need to round out our speaker schedule. Tiffany's working very hard on that. And so we have a survey. It's very short, shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to complete, to hear from you about those topics that would interest you the most. And since the survey address is rather lengthy, to make it easier on everybody, if you would just email us at dcseniorlife@douglas.co.us, we'll send you the link. Then just click on the link. It'll take you directly to the survey. So our email address again is dcseniorlife@douglas.co.us. We'd love to have your help. And remember that we record our presentation. So if you want to listen to Joyce's presentation again, she gave us an awful lot of information. It doesn't hurt to go over it again, even if it needs three or four times, or any of our previous presentations too. Please visit our webpage, mydugcoseniorlife.com, and let your friends know about this opportunity too. Maybe they weren't able to join us today, or they don't even know about our presentations. They can certainly get on our webpage and see today's presentation as well as all those in previous meetings. And we, of course, we would love for you to comment on our Facebook page, My Dougco Senior Life, or visit our YouTube channel for any additional information on the council and what we're kind of up to and what we have plans to do. It's with our warmest wishes that we hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a joyous Kwanzaa, or a very Happy New Year. And until next year then, stay healthy and stay connected. Bye now.